Perfect. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Fleming Film Show. I'm Robbie Fleming, and joining me, as always, is Justin Doyle. Hello, Justin.
Hey, Rob. What's up, buddy? How you doing?
I'm good. So, Steven Spielberg's latest movie is coming out soon, West Side Story. Would you like to chat top 5 Spielberg films today?
Well, considering he is my all-time favorite director, this is a big topic for me, and he is going to be directing West Side Story that comes out this year, and it's a musical, and it's Spielberg, so I am all in.
I'm also looking forward to the one he's making next year about his life.
The Fabelmans.
Yes, I reckon he will probably put a good vibe on that film.
Yeah, and he doesn't write a lot of his own stuff, so it's interesting that he wrote The Fabelmans as well. Do you know any of the other ones that he's written? Is that he also directed?
Close Encounter.
Close Encounter was also written by him, yes. And one more.
Jaws?
No, AI.
Oh, AI, but Stanley Kubrick wrote most of that.
Well, he's credited as well. Yes, great. Well, I'm looking forward to West Side Story. I'm looking forward to chatting Spielberg. Who wants to kick it off?
To kick off the honours with my number 5, a movie that came out in 2002, one of the most underrated sci-fi films ever, and my favourite movie to star Tom Cruise. It's Minority Report.
Tell me about Minority Report.
So, Minority Report, Tom Cruise is a cop who works in this new division in the future that can see crimes before they happen. But he is framed for a crime that they think he's going to commit. But we all know him that he's this innocent cop who plays by the rules, although he does have trauma and a terrible drug addiction. But we know this guy's innocent. We know he's not going to commit any crimes. And this is about how he's got to escape from the corrupt police force. And it's Max von Snyden's in this, and Anthony Morton and Colin Farrell, because I love Colin Farrell, of course. I think this is one of Spielberg's most underrated movies and really shows how great he is at directing sci-fi movies, and that's why Minority Report is my number 5.
Yeah, it's a fantastic film. And yeah, really good sci-fi. Really unique, but I won't say anything in case it's in my list. All right, well, let's talk my number 5. This movie is just so much fun. And as a kid, I had seen it a lot. Girls, please, I'm talking, thank you. And they also love this movie. Yeah, this movie is, it's got a great cast. It's like a fantasy film. It's also based off of a children's novel. It came out in 1991. It's starring Robin Williams and Dustin Hoffman, and it's Hook.
I
love Hook. What'd you say?
I thought that'd be in the top 5 today.
Yeah. It's also starring Julia Roberts. We have Maggie Smith in there. I just love this movie. So much fun. Sometimes when you watch a movie, you kind of just want to live in that world, and I just want to live in that world. And when they go to Neverland, it's just a fun world. Such a great production design that was built for that whole set. They're on a boat. They have the clock tower. That's the alligator. Plus, let's not forget our great Hook, played by Dustin Hoffman. Just so well done. Robin Williams got out-acted and shined in this movie by Dustin Hoffman because Robin Williams played Peter, an older Peter, and he sort of is like the straight man, but his kids are the ones who go out into the world and have the fun, and it's about him trying to reconnect with his childhood, going back to his roots. I really enjoy this movie. It's a fun one. And then always when it gets brought up, everyone always says Rufio for the Lost Boys. So my number 5 is Hook.
That is a good choice. That is a good choice. And this brings me to a good point. Sorry.
But yeah, Bob Hoskins is always also in it, and the budget was $70 million, and it grossed $301 million.
Nice. But you bring me to a point about Spielberg, because I think he's a very diverse director, because not many of his movies are the same.
That's true. Yeah. Well, we know what he loves. He loves family. He loves kids. He loves Tom Hanks. So, yeah, he does things differently with the same sort of style. You know, he has his style, but he does it differently every time. I mean, if you look at his entire filmography, you know, it's, I guess the first one that he did in 1964 is called Firelight, which is an amateur film, but his first real one was Duel in 1971. But then he also has, Color Purple, all the Indiana Jones movies, Twilight Zone, Amistad, you know, war movies, War Horse, War of the World, Saving Private Ryan. Like, he has this huge, just vast difference in his director filmography. So yeah, hats off to him, and great point.
You ready for my number 4?
So ready.
This is a movie that might upset you, but he is the right person to direct this movie because of his heritage. This is probably one of the longest and one of the saddest movies ever, but God, is it a masterpiece because of its acting, cinematography, John Williams' score, the fantastic story that really glues you in, and let's not forget about Sir Stevie's directing. Schindler's List is my number 4. What a masterpiece this film is, and what incredible performances Liam Neeson, Ralph Fiennes, and Ben Kingsley, who are three of our biggest and brightest. They all pull off these fantastic performances in this movie. This film is very sad, but I love it because of its messages and how beautifully it's shot, and that's why it's my number 4. So my number 4 is Schindler's List.
It is a masterpiece. It is for sure a masterpiece. It's on my also hands. There's a different 1993 movie that I put in my top 5. So
that's also my top 5 as well.
Schindler's List is so good. I actually only have seen it as an adult, like within the last 3 or 4 years, and I think that was smart because it's a very adult movie. It's very heavy. You won't really appreciate or understand it unless like you're old enough to get it, you know. And I just it's so well done, you know. It's in black and white, and it's about war, but not in the war zone. It's a war setting, you know.
Yeah.
And he just does it so well. And I really love the ending when the actual survivors were there and they, you know, were on in the movie, in the film, in the credits, and
That's incredible. That's
incredible. Very, very moving moment.
So what's your number 4 then, Justin Doyle?
Well, we have a top 5 match because mine's Minority Report.
Yeah,
I completely agree. So underrated, and it's so unique. What a unique new thing. I mean, just how can, you know, the writer is amazing. Like, you just think of this, but then to have Steven Spielberg talk about how different he does things. This is a completely different movie. We have good action. We have great sci-fi. We have a good story. It moves. There's no dragging at all. It's like a thriller almost, because you are like on the edge of your seat with Tom Cruise, as he's trying to just take that extra step forward. He, you know, as he keeps getting pushed 10 steps back. And there's stuff that I will never forget in this movie, like the doctor in this movie, yes, who with the eyes is so creepy. And then his fridge with the moldy sandwiches, and he takes a bite. It's so gross. But we have the classic Steven Spielberg light swipe. You know, he likes his light swipes, and we have that a lot in this movie. But it's just so much fun. Great color grading in this one. Like, it's a lot of green, a lot of black, a lot of also like it's white, but it's not really white, because the girl who plays one of the
Samantha Morton.
Yeah. Who's Agatha? Yeah, she's like white, but she's not really white. You know, it's like a beigey, but it's just so unique. Really, really enjoyed it. One of my obviously top favorite Steven Spielberg movies. Minority Report is my number 4. Let's see, 7.6 on IMDb. Budget of 102 million. Worldwide gross is 358 million. So did pretty well.
Nice. I'm glad to see that it's still a recognised cult classic today.
Yeah, very, very, very underrated. People should be talking about its brilliance more and more. And what a cool, like, Colin Farrell. It's like one of my first introductions to him, and
mine too. What a performance he pulls off as well.
Yeah, totally. And then to find out later that he's like Austrian or whatever, or he's from a different place, and he pulled off an American accent. It was so awesome.
Oh, he's Irish.
Oh, right, Irish, of course.
Yeah.
All right, what's your bronze?
So my bronze kicked off a franchise with Mr. Harrison Ford, and he plays a man called Indiana Jones, and this is his adventures of Raiders of the Lost Ark. I have seen this movie so many times. I love this movie. I love his adventure. I love all the cool characters he meets. I love all the moments, especially like with when he shoots the swordsman. I think that's my favorite scene in Spielberg's history of filmmaking. You also have some really good heavy hitters like Paul Freeman, Karen Allen, John Rhys Davies, and Devon Elliott, who are just an iconic cast. This is a movie that can't be remade, can't be rebooted, and should just have just had and should just be kind of like stayed the same forever. Raiders of Lost Ark is my bronze, my number 3.
Yeah, and we know that it can't be rebooted, remade, added on to, because Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is just look.
Wow.
Yeah, this is a great pick. I bet it's on a lot of people's top 5. The Indiana Jones movies are great. They're fun adventure movies, and this is completely different than Minority Report. But I don't know why I just don't appreciate them more. Like I know everyone loves them, and I'm a huge Harrison Ford fan, a huge Steven Spielberg fan, and they're just all right. They're just fine.
It's not because the plot hole about him. Oh, if he wasn't on his adventure, the Nazis would have taken the Ark anyway and had their face melted. You're not one of them, are you?
No, I'm not one of them. They're just fine and fun, but yeah, none of them are on my top 5.
That's fair enough. It's not for everybody.
Well, no, they're for me, and they're great movies. Just I don't know why I don't love them. It's the same thing as like Star Wars. I just don't love them like everyone else loves them. Like I want to be obsessed. Actually, there is a franchise that I am obsessed with that we'll talk about soon. So
nice.
All right. Well, my number 3 is very different than others. But when I was a kid, I don't really cry in movies. This movie made me cry. It's directed by Steven Spielberg. It stars Richard Dreyfuss, Holly Hunter, and John Goodman. And it's called Always. And it's about an expert pilot who mentors a newer pilot, and he watches them fall in love with the girlfriend that he left behind. So this is actually it's like almost spoiler if I talk about it. So I don't really want to say too much, but I just know that it made me cry as a kid, which I just don't do in movies. The acting is so good. It's one of those that you really like. Unless you're paying attention, you kind of miss what the story is and what's going on. But I love Holly Hunter. I love Richard Dreyfuss, and of course John Goodman is a saint. There's also Audrey Hepburn in this, which is interesting. It's probably one of her last films.
Now.
Yeah, it's an adult movie. It's an adult movie. It's not one that a kid should even be watching, but I watched everything that my parents watched. Whatever they were watching, I was watching, and this was one of them, and I just loved it. And yeah, I was introduced to Holly Hunter, and I fell in love with her, and I think she's one of the better actresses that we have out there. And who doesn't love Richard Dreyfuss or John Gibbon?
I watched Holly Hunter in a film the other day, The Piano. That was really good.
Oh, yeah, I haven't seen that. But yeah, so my number 3 is Always, about a pilot teaching a pilot.
Nice. That is one I need
It's
to
so
check
much
out.
more.
One of his ones I haven't seen.
But also, yeah, there's some that I haven't seen, of course. But this is, again, it's another movie that is different. This has no action, really, no crazy adventure. It's about just, and no real kids in it either. This is a non-Steven Spielberg movie, but it still really worked. It is sort of fantastical, but yeah, the romance and the drama made it work for me.
Right,
6.4 on IMDb, not too high. One of the lower ones. 31 million the box office, 74 total.
You ready for my silver?
Hit it.
My silver is his other film from 1993, and I consider it one of the best visually stunning movies of all time. This movie is pure adventure, pure action, pure fantasy, pure sci-fi. It has Sam Neill, Laura Dern, Jeff Goldblum, and the late great Richard Attenborough, Jurassic Park.
That is also my number 2. So
I thought this would be your number 1 for some reason.
Why would you think that?
Because I know how much you love this movie.
I do. I love this movie. I love the franchise. This is one of my all-time favorites. Yeah, why don't you talk about it first?
I just really love the whole concept of going to this theme park with dinosaurs and how it makes this really entertaining adventure where the kids and the adults are put in danger and they have to survive out there in the park and get home before they're eaten by dinosaurs. And I like how this movie really goes into the cloning of dinosaurs, the whole. Dean Cundey is a brilliant cinematographer, and Jurassic Park shows how beautiful he can make this movie. And the animatronics feel well ahead of their time. And even when you're watching it, they don't feel fake or stupid or silly or corny. No, holding up nearly 30 years on, still one of the best movies visually.
I'm obsessed. Like, I'm just obsessed with this entire franchise. Jurassic Park is, I don't think I've seen a movie more. I don't know. This is one of the first memories I've ever had at a movie theater. I just remember being extremely scared, but really, really into it. And yeah, I have shirts.
If they re-release it where I work, I'm definitely booking tickets for it.
Yes, it's very smart. Yeah, I have T-shirts. I'm not even like a big dinosaur fan. Like I was kind of a fan when I was a kid, but I'm really, really a fan of this movie. So much adventure, so much action. It's scary. It's so well done. Obviously, it has flaws because, how could the T-Rex be the same height as the wall, but still have to climb over? It doesn't make any sense. But that scene with them in the car, and when we finally really get to the reveal of T-Rex is so harrowing.
That's just an iconic scene.
So iconic. And then the lawyer gets eaten off the toilet. Also, my dream car is a Jeep. Is one of those 1993 Jurassic Park Jeeps. I want one so bad. But anyway, it's just a perfect film to me. It's one that I will watch always.
And probably has one of the best themes of sound scores ever.
Oh my God, it's so good. It's so when they're in the helicopter.
John Williams is a genius.
Yeah. Also, welcome to Jurassic Park is a huge line. My dad thinks that the best acting he's ever seen is Laura Dern and Sam Neill reacting to the first time that they saw the Brontosaurus, when they're just like, takes off their glasses and just like stands up, and it's a green screen, but it's just them acting, and he just thinks that's the best acting ever. But let's also let's tip our hat to Richard Attenborough. He's a great actor and really elevated the story and movie. Samuel L.
And his
Jackson's
brother's a good documentary maker.
What's that?
His brother David Attenborough, he's good at documentaries.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know. We also have Wayne Knight, who tears up the entire thing, and then Samuel L. Jackson. Oh, and B.D. Wong as Wu is in the Jurassic World universe.
Yes,
so
he is.
He's still around, which I love. And the Forbidden Kingdom, I think, comes out later, 2022. So.
Oh, it's Destination.
What is it?
I can't remember what it's called, actually. Destination, something like that.
I don't know.
But I'm just looking forward to Laura, Jeff, and Sam coming back.
Yes. Well, Jeff was in the end of this Lost World Dominion.
Oh, Dominion's the third one, Fallen Kingdom's the second one. That's probably where you're getting confused.
There hasn't been 3 already.
No, Dominion's the third one is next year.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, yes.
No, I love Fallen Kingdom. That really brought back the franchise for me.
I love the first one. I love Jurassic World. Anyway, yeah, I'm a huge fan of this franchise. This movie is an 8.1 on IMDb. It box office was $63 million budget, and then worldwide gross was $1 billion. So. And
I wish that this film was nominated for Best Picture, so Spielberg could have had 2 films in one category, and that would have been awesome.
It would have been awesome. You know who has that option this year but won't get it, unfortunately?
Sir Ridley Scott.
Last Duel's not going to be up for Best Picture.
No, that's going to be a cult classic.
So good. Okay, well, I'm really excited to see what your number 1 is. I have a slight feeling. I have a guess anyway, but.
You ready to hear it?
Yes, hit me.
This movie is a war movie starring Tom Hanks. It is one of the best movies ever made. It's about finding this man called James Francis Ryan. And is it really a worse movie than Shakespeare in Love? No. What should have won Best Picture in 1998 is Saving Private Ryan. And that's my favourite movie by Sir Steven Spielberg. What a movie this is. The first half an hour completely hits you, and then it puts you in this adventure with these soldiers that are trying to find a missing soldier, and they are risking their life to save that man. And what an adventure they go on, and what a beautiful piece of art Spielberg made. And I consider this film to be his magnum opus. I don't think he's made a better film since. I don't think he will make a better movie than this. I think this will always stand as his best movie ever, and that's why it's my number 1.
Yeah, well, I thought it was going to be another Tom Hanks movie, but now that you're saying it, of course that's your number 1. Yeah, it's a feat. It's unbelievable. It's great war movie. Yeah, it's raw. It's gritty. It's it has Matt Damon in it, and so many great performances. But even
Vin Diesel puts on a good performance in this.
I mean, if any director can get a good performance out of him, it's Spielberg.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very well done. I don't know why I don't enjoy it like everyone else does. I don't know. It's great. I don't know. I think I like Black Hawk Down more. But yeah, this is obviously a good movie.
Who prefer Black Hawk Down.
What'd you say?
I know a lot of people who prefer Black Hawk Down, but I like Black Hawk Down anyway.
I don't know why. But yeah, really, really good movie. Definitely should have beat out Shakespeare in Love. Saving Private Ryan is a far superior movie. Yeah, and I can see why it's your number one. Just raw, gritty blood.
I think that's the movie that really, really showed me how great of a filmmaker Spielberg is.
Yeah. Yeah, no kids either. No fantasy. This is real. This is, history. And he did it so well.
He loves his history because he makes stuff like Bridge of Spies and Lincoln as well.
In the Post, and yeah.
I need to see The Post. I heard good things.
Also, War Horse.
I need to see War Horse. I've been wanting to see that for ages.
Munich.
I love Munich. Love Munich. That was an honourable mention.
Yes. I'm surprised you didn't have The Adventures of Tintin on yours.
That would be an honourable mention.
Okay. Well, are
I
you
have a
ready to
feeling
see
what your number one is going to be. Is it a film in the 70s by any chance?
It is not a film in the 70s.
Okay, I thought it was going to be Jaws then for some reason.
Yeah, no, I know. And Jaws, I was playing around with it, but there's one movie that I don't know if I like it more than Jurassic Park, but I have to give this movie the tip of the hat because it's the reason why I fell in love with Spielberg. It's the reason why I enjoy him so much. It's because I want an ET. It's because I want a buddy like that, or I did as a kid. And my number one is E.T. the Extraterrestrial and His Adventures on Earth. It came out in 1982, and I love this movie. It's on Netflix. I watch it. I love this movie. But I saw it before Jurassic Park, which is why I lean to it more number one for me, because this is the reason why I love Spielberg. He knows how to make an adult film and a kid film all in one. He knows how to draw in everybody who's going to see that film. And it's about being an outcast. It's about not knowing what your true home is, where you belong, and finding where you belong. We also are introduced to Drew Barrymore, who's so freaking cute in this movie. But I just love the scene so. Yeah, she's so good. I love the scene so much when E.T.'s getting drunk and Elliot can feel it, and he starts to feel drunk like while he's out of school, and then there's the frogs everywhere. Dude, the mayhem of the frogs. You gotta know, like, kids were stepping on those live frogs and like killing them. I don't think there was much PETA around back in 1981 when they made this movie, but it's so magical and adventure and such great sci-fi. This is something that
the scene with the bikes is incredible.
Oh my god, it's iconic. Like the moon with the red, with the red hoodie and ET in the front. I mean, it's just so great. It's so much fun. You can tell like everybody involved was really, really serious about making a great film, and they really, really, really did. Box office was 10.5 million, and it worldwide gross was 792 million. Totally deserved. 7.8 on IMDb. E.T. the Extraterrestrial and His Adventures on Earth is my number one.
Excellent choice. Would definitely be in my top 10.
Yeah. Some also rants. Schindler's List, of course. Ready Player One, I enjoyed very much.
That's an okay one. I think I prefer his older stuff with Spielberg.
Yeah. I thought Ready Player One was a lot of fun. I didn't read the book, so I didn't know much about it. Another one where I really enjoyed it and just think it's so unique and different is Catch Me If You Can. It's just all these other movies that we talk about are all adventure and Catch Me If You Can is a little bit of adventure, but it's mostly about.
I have a couple of honorable mentions. Jaws, iconic classic. Close Encounters of the Third Kind, iconic classic. AI, Artificial Intelligence, is another underrated sci-fi film, and I think without the influence of Stanley Kubrick, I think Spielberg would have made a crapper movie. But I thought IA deserves a lot more justice than it does, and I do like The Terminal. So I think that is just a really funny story.
I love the first two parts, like almost a perfect movie, but then that third act just falls apart.
Yeah, it does. It does. And my least favorite Spielberg film is probably War of the Worlds.
What? The least? Oh my gosh. No way.
Oh, I like the
Yeah,
color purple as well. I like the color purple.
I haven't I know I saw it like as a kid, but I mean I have zero recollection. I can't.
Yeah, definitely worth the rewatch purely for how much of a great performance he gets out of a young Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah. I need to see that. I want to see the Twilight Zone movie because he has a segment in there.
Ooh, that'll be fun to check out. I like anthology movies.
I love Amistad, such a good movie.
That's one to check out.
Yeah, War Horse may be the weakest for me. The BFG wasn't that great. But yeah, I'm looking forward to West Side Story. Cool. Let's count them down.
My number 5 is Minority Report.
I have Hook at my number 5.
My number 4 is the award-winning Schindler's List.
My number 4 is Minority Report.
My bronze is Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark.
I have a movie called Always for my number 3.
Our number 2 was
Jurassic Park. Rah!
And my favourite movie by Steven Spielberg, the one that makes him stand out as a fantastic director to me, is Saving Private Ryan.
And my number 1, the reason why I love the man so much is E.T. the Extraterrestrial and His Adventures on Earth. Elliot.
Great
Bone
list.
Home.
Bone Home. Great list. Great list.
Yes. Awesome. Great. What is your guys' favorite Steven Spielberg movies? I'm sure we have some overlaps. I'm sure some of our favorites are your favorites and your number ones are our number ones. But tell us all about it down there below. Tell us what your favorite is. Comment. We want to hear it. Let's chat movies.
Yes, let's chat movies. And I'm going to do the recommendation this week.
Ooh, what do you got?
This is a movie from 2016 that I didn't like the first time around, but when I rewatched it, I really fell in love with it. And it's Manchester by the Sea with Casey Affleck and Lucas Hedges. It's a really well done film, and I really wish I appreciated it more the first time watching it, because the first time you watch a movie, you're kind of just thinking, what the hell is this? But when you're mature enough and you watch a movie and you got a lot of emotions through your head and you're trying to explore this story, you really kind of like connect to what's happening to the characters, and that's why I really appreciated it more this time and thought it was an absolute fantastic film with the writing, acting, and cinematography. So my recommendation this week is Manchester by the Sea.
Yeah, I didn't hate that movie as much as everybody else did. I didn't think it was great or anything, but yeah, I wasn't like against it much. All I remember and love from that year is that Fences came out, and Denzel Washington won the SAG award, which means like the Screen Actor Guild's members vote for him. And when he got up to accept the award, he goes, "Man, I thought you guys were gonna pick that kid over me," talking about Casey Affleck for Manchester by the Sea, which Denzel, way better performance in Fences. So I'm glad that happened. But
that's a good shout, because I do like Fences, and I do kind of like his performance as kind of like the abusive person, whereas Casey Affleck was quite grief-stricken and he pulled off the loner quite well. So they're both very diverse and unique performances that I can't pick my mind to. But my favourite performance from 2016 was James McAvoy for Split, because of how he played them different personalities.
Mine was Viola Davis for Fences. I just thought she was so good.
That would have been my best supporting actress pick.
Yeah, so good. All right, what are we doing next time?
Next time. Do you want to do the our top 5 favourite British actresses? We don't really get to talk about much actresses on the show.
Well, I love talking actresses for sure, but sure, I'm sure I have 5. I don't know off the top of my head, but I'm sure.
I'm sure you'll be able to do the research for it.
Yeah. Well, if it's not Meryl, Nicole, or Julia, who are all English speakers, I don't know.
2 of them are American, one's Australian. Well, part American.
Oh
part
yeah,
American.
right, but not British. We know that.
No, but Meryl Streep can pull off good British. She
Yeah,
can pull off British quite well.
Nicole Kidman can too. She's good.
Yeah, they all can do good accents, all three of them.
Okay, let's do it. Top 5 British actresses.
Right.
Coming to you next time.
Yes, thank you, Justin, for coming. Thank you, guys, for watching this episode. Like, subscribe, and comment your favourite Spielberg movie or other topics we want us to do.
Yes.
And we'll see you soon. Bye, Justin.
Bye, Rob. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on.